Tonight on BCN Weekly Report, Ramadan, a month-long tradition celebrated in the Muslim religion, recently wrapped up. Reporter Kamiske Kamara looks into how the Muslim Student Association celebrated this holiday from a Berea perspective. Also, the CMIT building is set to open in fall of 2024. Reporter Michael Harbin III shows a brief rundown of what our new studio space will look like. All of this and more coming up soon tonight on BCN Weekly Report. Live from Berea, Kentucky, enjoy this week's episode of BCN Weekly Report. Welcome to this week's episode of BCN Weekly Report. My name is Matt Carmack. As things are changing on campus, a celebration to a month-long holiday just ended. Reporter Kamiske Kamara explains the holiday in this week's special report.
Ramadan is a significant time for Muslims worldwide, and BereaCollege Muslim Student Association is no exception. I sat down with Kumba, the president of the MSA, to discuss the importance of Ramadan and how students observe it on campus.
So as the MSA group here in Berea, we cook together and we eat together, and for the past 3 years we've been using the clubhouse in Eco Village, and so we come cook together and we eat together, and it's always been so nice. Every year is very different. There's always new people. We get Christians, we get pastors, have gotten atheists, we've had many people we've had at least over 2 people who reverted to Islam due to the Ramadan get-togethers we have. So it's very, very beneficial and very impactful.
Those people who are around the world, they don't have any food, or they are surviving, or they are having hunger issues, we can understand them through this Ramadan by thinking about them, by praying for them, or by praying for our family members. So this is the best time for me, but at the same time it's kind of like difficult because it's a really tight schedule.
One of the challenges faced by the Muslim students during the Ramadan is the inability to eat from the dining hall. The college has promised refund to those affected, but many students are still waiting, leaving them struggling to meet ends meet.
This year, we still haven't had a refund, and what we use for the refund we get from not eating for a whole month in dining is what we take at least $200 from every student, and the refund in dining is usually like around $400, and so we take at least $200, and that's what we use to buy meat, to buy vegetables and everything like that from each member that decides to participate.
Despite these challenges, the MSA has come together to cook and to celebrate this holy month with both Muslims and non-Muslim students on campus. The sense of community and the spiritual growth is evident throughout the holy month of Ramadan. The holy month of Ramadan is a month of peace and gratitude with oneself and also the Creator. Restraining oneself from eating and drinking can be challenging but also rewarding, especially on the Berea campus. As we have heard, this is Kamiske Kamara, and you're watching the BereaCollege News Quick Hit.
Thanks, Kamiske. We hope students of the Muslim Student Association were able to get their financial situations figured out and had a great rest of their month. In other news, this will be our last newscast of the semester and our last newscast in this current space. Reporter Michael Harbin III tours our new space in the new CMIT building.
Beginning in the fall, both BereaCollege News and Radio will find their new home in the new CMIT building. These are significant location shifts, as BereaCollege News has been in its current studio for the past 10 years, while BC Radio has been in its current location in Danforth Technology since 2017. This will also mark the first time the on-air radio studio and the news facilities will share the same location. On top of all this, the new space will include a podcasting and recording space, as well as the reception area to help open BCNR to the public. That's all we have for this story. Make sure to join us in the fall as we break in our new studio. But until then, this is Michael Harmon III reporting for BCN Weekly News.
Thanks, Mike. Although I am graduating, I am super excited to see the new studio and the newscast in the future. Coming up on BCN Weekly Report, the Poetry and Opossum Society is a free group that meets every other Friday at 6 p.m. Reporter Amaya Weekly explains all the details about this group. And I asked students walking around campus what they were doing this semester. We'll be back with more news after this short break.
More than 90% of a child's brain develops before the age of 5, making these early years critical for future success. Fortunately, togetherness can go a long way to support learning development. Reading, counting, playing, together. It's really that simple to increase your child's readiness to open up a world of possibilities.
This is Kentucky, where the only thing ordinary is the unexpected. Come see for yourself. Plan your trip at KentuckyTourism.com.
I'm getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Yes, there could be some short-term side effects from the vaccine, but they go away in a day or two. Those are signs that my body's building protection. It's worth it to avoid serious problems from COVID-19 disease.
Thanks for staying with us. The Poetry and Opossum Society is a great group for any creative writer looking for story editors or something fun to do on Friday nights. Reporter Amaya Weekly explains more about this club.
BereaCollege's Poetry Club meets twice a month in Stevenson Hall. Here's everything you need to know about what they do and how to be involved. The Poetry Club here on campus has frequent meetings and events. They meet on Fridays every other week at 6 p.m. in Stevenson 226. These meetings consist of friendly introductions followed by poetry and writing prompts, and the opportunity to share the works created during the meeting times. All BereaCollege students are invited and encouraged to attend these events, especially those who are passionate about poetry or creative writing. I interviewed the president and vice president of the Poetry and Possum Society, Kayla Boyd and Lee Ford, to hear more about the club's goals and events they have attended.
Poetry Club was started in fall of 2023, and we wanted to create a club where poets in Berea could get together and work on writing prompts and workshops and possibly sending our work out to be published.
My favorite poetry-related event of the past year has probably been a field trip we took with our poetry class last semester with Professor Elkins. It was hybrid forms of poetry and prose, which is one of the 4 creative writing classes that a person can take if they're interested in the minor. We went to a dark sky park in Big South Fork, Tennessee, and stayed there for 3 days in a cabin that had no electricity and no running water, but it was really fun because we just had no phones and all we did was walk around outside and think about poems and look at the stars, and we could see the Milky Way. It was amazing.
And we saw glowworms for the first time. Some of us did.
Yeah. There were deer, like shine a flashlight and there'd just be deer appearing everywhere. We had a poetry reading for Earth Hour in the dark, and it started with a guided meditation by Wendy Warren. And then we took a hike in the woods around twilight as it turned to dark. And then in the dark, we each held a candle and read poems about our relationship to darkness and the sky. This Monday, on April 22nd, there's going to be a poetry reading in honor of Earth Day, so look out for an email for that.
If you have any questions about the Poetry and Possum Society, contact Kayla or Lee, or the faculty sponsor for the club, Professor Ansel Elkins. This is all we have for the Poetry and Possum Society, but the club will have one final meeting this Friday, April 26th at 6 p.m. Reporting from the studio for BCN Weekly Report, this was Amaya Weekly.
Thanks, Amaya. That looks like a lot of fun. In other news, BereaCollege students are doing a lot of things this summer. I stopped a few students on their way to class and asked them what they were doing over the break.
This summer, I'll unfortunately be here taking summer classes.
Okay, any classes in particular?
Intro to Statistics and German Civilization.
This summer, I will be doing an internship at KSU.
What's the internship about?
Basically, I will be doing sports information for Kentucky State over the summer.
This summer, I'm going to be working at a summer camp, working with like 11 to 13-year-olds.
And is this for your internship or just a fun summer job?
It's sort of a little bit of both. It's through my internship through Bonners, but also just something to do for fun.
I'm studying abroad in Italy with Kevin Gardner.
And then what classes are you taking?
I am taking an English class, which is creativity and identity in Rome and Florence, and a drawing and painting class.
I'm going to be working a lot. I'm going to be a parts driver for Advanced Auto Parts, so ICOM.
Anything else fun?
Hopefully something else fun. I don't know.
So this summer, I'm going to do an internship in Atlanta. I'm going to be working with a nonprofit called La Amistad. I'm just going to be helping them run things, but they focus on like helping Hispanic families and students with stuff like English classes and like programs throughout the summer, so I'll just be helping with that.
Whatever you're doing this summer, whether working, studying abroad, or an internship, we at BereaCollege News wish you the best of luck. On behalf of our news team, thank you for watching BCN Weekly Report. I'm Matt Carmack. For more coverage, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at BereaCollege News Radio, and watch our show online at www.bcnewsradio.com. We'll see you next week, or not. Good night.